This is WLSS AM 930 in Sarasota. We are live stream around the world, and we are podcast throughout the week. And as you know, a regular feature on the Radio Rabbi program is our feature called The People of the Book. And of course, we Jewish people are known as the people of the book, and that's one of the reasons why I like to bring authors on our program, especially an author who has written a book that is so fascinating. It was a page turner for me, one that I could not put down. The book is called Blind Vision, and the author is Vivian Kaplan, and I have her on the line with me this morning. Good morning, Vivian.
Hello, Rabbi Barbara.
Hello, good morning. Your book, Blind Vision, I'm going to recommend right now to all of our listeners, if you read only one book on a Judaic theme this year, I'm recommending to you that you read this historical novel called Blind Vision about the B'nei Anousim. And those of you who know me and who listen to the program know that my roots go back to Spain during the time of the Inquisition and the expulsion of the Jews from Spain. And that is the topic, our main theme of Vivian's book. Vivian, tell us a little bit about the story.
This is actually written as a story within a story. I have two separate characters and two separate stories which eventually do intertwine. The one story is in the present time about a young man named Stefan, who learns that he has Jewish roots. He learns this midway in his life. He's 28 years old, without any previous knowledge of this circumstance. The inner story is a story about Alfonso in the 15th century, who is a similar age, also a young man, and I trace his life and how he came to be part of the expulsion from Spain in 1492, how he then left and went to the New World. And so the two stories connect, and we learn about the historical past, but also about how this is impacting people around the world today.
Tell us, Vivian, a little bit about the modern young man, Stefan's inner conflict with his Jewish roots.
I think that is a story of existentialism. That is that a person who believes himself to be Catholic from his earliest memories then discovers that he is Jewish or has Jewish ancestors, and finds that he does not believe that he fits in either place, that he is conflicted, accepted really in either religion, and at a loss as to who he is, whether he belongs anywhere and whether he exists at all.
And this strikes a chord with a lot of people that I know. In our work with the Italian Jewish Cultural Center in Calabria, we have people who come to us who are looking to discover and possibly embrace their Jewish roots. And I find, and I'm wondering if you find the same thing, that there are many people in real life who share Stefan's conflict. Have you found that to be the case? Does it touch a nerve?
Yes, that's exactly the basis of my character. He does exist. I've spoken to many. I've contacted many people with this exact conflict in their own lives, in Catholic families, where they somehow feel they have a Jewish soul and they want to return, but the families are not willing to go that way. There are marriages that break up as a result, and families divide. But as I was told by one person in São Paulo, Brazil, I have found my God, he said to me, and this supersedes any familial or marital relationships. He was determined to return to Judaism, and so he did.
That is a wonderful story, very, very moving, and so important, I think, for so many people to hear. We're talking with Vivian Kaplan this morning. She's the author of a book that I couldn't put down called Blind Vision. Tell us a little bit about the title. What are you trying to convey with the title Blind Vision?
Blind Vision, the essence of blind vision was at a time when the monarchs of Spain, Ferdinand and Isabella, were planning to expel the Jews from their realm. And the court Jews at the time, those of influence, in particular Isaac of Rabbanel and Abraham Senior, pled for the lives of the Jewish people, pled for their existence in their homeland of Spain at the time. And in that plea, they said to the monarchs, how blind is your vision that you don't see the merit of having the Jewish people in this land?
That is fascinating, absolutely fascinating. And one of the things that I found especially fascinating is the way that you wove into the story Christopher Columbus, as we call him in English. Can you tell us a little bit about Christopher Columbus's Jewish roots?
I didn't expect to find what I did. I discovered that in 1492, on the precise day of expulsion, was the day that Christopher Columbus had set sail, the precise day and time, set sail for the New World. On board, he took as many Jewish people as he could, although they had to quickly convert to Catholicism by the edict of the monarchs. He left, and he wrote many letters back to his sons and to other dignitaries in Spain, and I discovered his signature at some point in my research. This threw me for a loop. I didn't really anticipate that he had a different name than the one that is known, that his name was actually Salvador Fernandez Zarco, Zarco being a Jewish name, that his mother was a Portuguese Jewish woman, and her father, Admiral Zarco, established a synagogue in Porto Santo. He was an explorer himself. So the roots are there, as well as the signature, which is convoluted and points to all the details of him being Jewish. He also, in the top left-hand corner of his letters, put a squiggle, which could only be Baruch Hashem. This is done by only Jews. There are no other peoples who would do that kind of thing, but he was a crypto-Jew in fear for his life at the time, and that is why he had to devise such a complicated ruse.
We are talking with Vivian Kaplan, the author of Blind Vision, wrote a wonderful book that I recommend to all of our listeners, and it has to do with a young man, a modern young man by the name of Stefan, who discovers his Jewish roots and all of the things that happen as he goes back, looking into his ancestry, an ancestry that also includes a contact with Christopher Columbus. Before we go, Vivian, I'd like to ask you one final question. How has this book impacted people that you've met, and how has it made an impact on you as well?
I've learned about the B'nei Anousim that is very significant in my life, to realize that there are people by the thousands and possibly millions around the world who have concealed Jewish roots, who have cherished these roots for centuries, and a number of whom are now making an effort to return. This has been a significant impact on my life, and as I've spoken to them singly, I've discovered that they are eager to tell the story. The reason that this is coming out now, I believe, is that with the anonymity of the internet, they're able to communicate without fear of exposure or any other ramifications, and they are now getting the courage, and I do believe they are courageous, to come out and try to return return and build Jewish families.
Well, we consider you very courageous, Vivian, for a wonderful book that you've written. And I know that in my own studies of the Anousim, the historical accounts are very, very important, but oftentimes hard to plow through. But putting it in the context of a historical novel, you've done not only have you written a wonderful book, but you have done a wonderful service for B'nei Anousim, for lost and hidden Jews around the world. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on the Radio Rabbi program.
Thank you.